everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm really excited to be sharing a flip through of my October and November 2019 Traveler's Notebooks. I have both of them in this beautiful cover from Mommy Lay. I love this cover so much. The color is just beautiful. But I'm going to start with October, and as you can see, my Traveler's Notebooks are pretty chunky and really pretty. So let's start with October. So this one is journal number 35, and my first spread here, I'm documenting my son as the school mascot. Kept it pretty simple. I love this living, the length and the width. Just added a little chipboard above that, and then just stamped a little bit. I think I used my Studio Calico football themed stamp set to stamp the football, and then added a few little clusters of embellishments. I love this picture of him, so I really didn't feel like I needed to add much. And I love the simplicity of that spread. Documenting Halloween. We have this little tradition every year. We go to my best friend's house. The kids watch scary movies. My friend and I give out candy, and we just have a great time, have dinner together and things like that. So every year I document our little tradition, and I wanted to be able to add all the photos on one spread, or most of my photos on one spread. So I ended up using or creating a little collage of 4 photos here. And then I used Studio Calico's Halloween themed, I think it's the Halloween themed Traveler's Notebook kit. It just comes with Traveler's Notebook sized papers, and I used those papers. Both of those are from that kit. And I used, I think it was Crate Paper's sticker sheets. Used the sticker sheet to add October on my spider web, added some journaling, added some more of those stickers on my spread. I really love this black, orange, and white spread. I did change my photos into black and white because I really wanted to use those stickers. And I felt like if I kept them in color, it would be really difficult to use the orange with my layout. So I made sure to change my photos into black and white. My daughter turned 15 in October. I used, I believe, my Spellbinders die cuts for this, and I cut out the high and all those flowers, and I created like a layering situation there. I really like how that turned out. Added my journaling on some vellum. Used my Studio Calico birthday stamp set to add a few stamps here and there. And I love doing this with my photos as well. I've shared the app that I use to have part of my photo in black and white and just kind of focus on a certain thing in color. And that's the ColourPop app. I love that app. And that's how I got my cake in color, but my daughter in black and white. Here's another layout documenting my daughter on her birthday. Now, this one happened the day of her birthday, and she had volunteered for marching band that day. So they didn't get back till like really late. So we weren't able to really do any kind of celebration but get her a cake. But the next day, my parents got her a cake as well. So she got like 2 cakes and 2 separate days. And I wanted to document both. And all I did here was kind of trimmed out papers. I think this was paper from Feed Your Craft, like Traveler's Notebook paper. Backed up my collage of photos. Used my Studio Calico birthday stamp set to stamp out the happy birthday. And I'm here for the cake. The 15 is a Kelly Perky number stamp, I believe so. And just, kept it simple. I already journaled about her birthday here, so I didn't feel like I needed to do that on this spread as well. I do have a process video for this one. I used Feed Your Crafts. Can't remember the name of that kit, but it was all about being creative and making and things like that. So I used one of the 4x6 cards, trimmed out the title, and then added my journaling to the opposite side of that. And all of this was stamped out from the stamp set. I stamped everything out, fussy cut it out, and used it to create clusters around my photo. I was in a major slump in October, I think October, November as well. So I wanted to journal about that and how I was trying to get myself out of that slump. And this was the perfect kit to document it. Next up, I am documenting my love for Target. Yes, I can go to Target every single day of the week, and I had the perfect card from Kelly Perky with the days of the week, So what I did was I trimmed down that 3x4 card. I believe it was a 3x4 card, and added them around my photo, just a photo of myself shopping at Target. And by the way, I always grab the little baskets thinking I'm just going to come in, buy what I need, and leave. I always end up switching to a shopping cart halfway through. But anyways, I created this with some circle dies. I believe they are my Spellbinders dies, if I'm not mistaken. I also created a tag. I have the scrapbook.com nesting dies. They are beautiful, perfect. They come like huge sizes, and then they, kind of shrink to the perfect size that you're looking for. So I created that tag, added my journaling. I just kept it with the red because I wanted it to match my Target. Added it in a glassine bag. I make my own glassine bags, by the way. The big ones that you get your kits in. I keep those. I just trim them down, and then I flip them over to create a glassine bag, if that makes sense. So I never throw my glassine bags out because I know I can create my own pockets. And they're perfect because you can create your own size you're looking for. I just stamped out Obsessed, You're Not Alone. I believe the Obsessed stamp set is from Studio Calico. It's just an alpha stamp. And You're Not Alone could be like a random stamp set in my stash. I can't even remember. If whatever I mention, I will try to find and link it in the description box for you guys. But I love the simplicity of this, and I love that it kind of represents my love for Target. I love babysitting my niece, and I love documenting it because I don't get to do it as much as I would like to. So I created a collage. This collage, I got it printed from Persnickety Prints. They do have the option to create a strip of photos, and I love the quality because it's thick and nice. So I just created that collage. I added like a little cluster of leaves, and that Together is Better. All I did was I trimmed around that and tucked my leaves behind it. I do that a lot. I don't mind cutting and trimming my traveler's notebooks to work for me, and I love how that turned out. I added my journaling on a 3x4 card, and I used a ColorCast Design acrylic piece that says Let's Stay Home. And I love the neutral colors on this and the warm colors. It just turned out so pretty. Next up, I cannot share the next layout because it's a part of my Scrap Your Scraps class. If you have not taken that Scrap Your Scraps class on my website, I have it linked in all my videos. It's a great class to take, especially if you want to kind of use up your stash. It's all about using your embellishments and all that good stuff. So definitely recommend it. Next up, I am documenting my niece again. As you can tell, I love her very much. So she's hilarious in the way she dresses, and she's always layering hats on hats and jackets on. She's just always dressed up in some kind of weird way. So you can see her hat and glasses, and it's hilarious, but it's adorable as well. So I do have a process video for this one. Kept it simple, layered my photos with some paper. I also was using Kelly Perky's kits, I believe, for this one, and just stamped out hat, scarf, mittens, bun. Now, this is what I mean when I always say, like, use your themed kits for like non-themed layouts. And this is a great example of that. I'm not documenting her being bundled up and cold. I'm documenting her wardrobe, and kind of it's in a funny way, and her wearing a hat on a scarf and nothing matches. So that kit worked perfectly, even though I'm not, like I said, documenting, winter or her in cold weather and bundled up. It just worked for like very inappropriate dressed for the weather, because that's her being inappropriately dressed for the weather. So it's just perfect. So definitely use your kit to work for what you're documenting, not the other way around. My wonderful parents, they got to go to Stone Mountain. We've been to Stone Mountain here in Georgia a million times, but they were taking family and friends, and they sent me this picture, and I thought it was adorable. I love it. So all I did was literally just added a few stamps here right above their hands, and I add a little puffy heart in between their heart-made fingers. I love that. And just added a little banner here right underneath this beautiful quote and called it done. I just love this picture of my parents. They're so cute. I'm documenting my son's love for marching band and how he feels like marching band is home to him. I believe I have a process video for this one, and I believe I stuck to a kit, my Studio Calico Travelers kit. I love these little sticker dots that came in that kit. They add so much color to any spread. And because like this kind of color swatch palette thing going on, I just felt like the little dots worked really well with those larger circles, and I love how that one turned out. I have to skip the next page as well because that is, again, a part of my Scrap Your Scraps class. And another large photo, I love using large photos in my spreads, and especially when you don't need anything but the photo, if that makes sense. All I did was use some of my ColorCast Design acrylics, the October 31st, and this wood veneer is also from ColorCast Design, the Boo. I didn't need to journal about it. I didn't need to add, colorful paper or pattern paper or anything like that. The picture told the story. Just adding that large acrylic, basically, this is Halloween. You just don't need to add anything else. And I love how that one turned out. I always say the simple spreads always turn out to be my favorites. Now this photo is all about like documenting family. We had a lot of family come in that month to visit, and it was so much fun to be around cousins that I haven't seen for such a long time and their children. And obviously there was 3 generations of female in the family, so I had to snap the picture. And I just love this picture so much. I used one of my Feed Your Craft stamp sets. Can't remember the name of the stamp set, but again, I will link everything in the description box. So there's my nieces, my sisters, my cousins, my mom, my aunt. There's just so many beautiful women in this photo, and my cousin's kids. So I definitely love this, and I thought that stamp set was appropriate. And I also did use my Posco pen, my white Posco pen, to add a little something to the corners of my spread. Documenting my love for ice cream. My kids and I love ice cream, and whenever we go have ice cream, I definitely snap that picture. And one thing I love doing is kind of making sure I remember whose cup is who and who ordered what, because I think it's a lot of fun to see what you were enjoying at the moment. So like adding my kids' names, my name, my sister and her daughter coming along. So adding that, it's fun to look at and be like, oh yeah, I remember when my daughter loved to mix cotton candy and watermelon together. So that's something fun to look back at. And it's so easy to do, just adding your names with alpha stickers. Obviously I didn't do much. And I also stamped this out with my Studio Calico Alphas stamps, and I love that alpha stamp. I'm going to grab it real quick because I always like to share my favorites at the moment with you guys, and this has become one of my favorite alpha stamps. So this guy right here, the Greenwich Market stamp set, how much I love this. And there's actually a number stamp as well if you're interested. This is definitely become a favorite, and I think I use it more in November, and I'll be sharing that in my November flip through in a bit. But that is it for documenting my ice cream. My son dancing. He is huge on dancing. He loves to dance. And whenever there's a party, he's definitely in the middle of that circle. And they were celebrating the end of the marching band season. It was like a few days before their Bands of America competition. So I went ahead and just stamped Get Down. Now, this is something that I did not consider, that my ink would rub off on my little puffy stickers. They turned black, as you can see here, but it's not a big deal. I'm okay with it, but you kind of live and learn. I should have probably left this open, or maybe it was going to happen eventually because it's like rubbing against it. But anyways, it's not a big deal. Finishing up October with another family photo with my cousins and my siblings, some of my siblings. And I used some embossing powder here for the XOXO and the love. I actually used the stamp set from scrapbook.com. And I mean, it was okay. It didn't turn out perfect. As you can see, like it just melted all wrong and stuff. But I'm not really big on embossing, and I'm really bad at it. So I guess I probably did something wrong at the moment, but I still love how it turned out. I also used my Posco pen to add some rays and hearts and things like that around us, and I love how that turned out. Oh, I do have one more spread here documenting what I was watching for the month of October, and I used my Studio Calico movie stamp set, I believe that's what it's called, and just stamped out a bunch of the stamps, fussy cutted out some of them, and just added them around my little ticket stubs. Actually, that ticket stub is a part of the stamp set as well, so I stamped it out, backed up my photos with it, and added it to my spread. Now that's it for October. Let's move on to November. Okay, so let's start with November, and this is journal number 36. I started by documenting my daughter in concert, or they were practicing for their concert, and they got to play with Mark Wood. He's amazing. If you're not familiar with him, definitely recommend checking him out. And he goes around schools to kind of promote the music program, the violin, orchestra, all that good stuff. And I added some journaling. I just put this through my typewriter, by the way, and I used my silver like the silver ink from my typewriter. And then I stamped Magic in the Air, Magical. That is an old Kelly Perky stamp set, and I stamped it in white Brilliance ink. Love that photo. Documenting Thanksgiving. I believe I have a process video for this one, and I added like a bunch of photos on one side. I used Kelly Perky's Thanksgiving swag bag as well and stamp set, added my journaling, keeping it simple. I know it looks busy, but honestly, all I did was stamp out all these little sentiments and words, fussy cut them out, added them to my photos. This was a sticker from the swag bag, so really I didn't do much, but I did make sure to layer my photos with some, I think that's probably a glassine bag and some paper. Another favorite here, and again, very simple, but a favorite, documenting fall in Georgia. This little card was a 3x4 card from Studio Calico, and it fit perfectly. So all I did was trimmed it down a little bit to add it right underneath my title. And then I stamped, Oh, the Places We Go. This is an oldie, but a favorite from Feed Your Craft. I'm not sure if it's still in the shop or not, but oh my gosh, I love that stamp set. And I've used it for the past like probably 3 years old. I've used it all the time. And I just added some cork arrow stickers there and called it done. Look how beautiful Georgia is in the winter and fall. It's just gorgeous. It's senior night, and I went ahead and just added a photo of us with my son on senior night for the marching band. Now that's the stamp set I shared with you earlier from Studio Calico. I love it. You're going to see it a few times throughout my traveler's notebook. I added my journaling on some vellum. That date stamp is from Studio Calico as well. It's the mega date stamp. I just added some gold puffy stickers around my photo. This, by the way, was a part of the pattern. There was like that circle in the center. All I did was I trimmed it out and tucked my photo behind it. I did that because I knew I wasn't using the pattern behind this page, and I just went ahead, stuck those two pages together, and I'm able to do that. So whenever you have the chance to trim out a circle or a square or anything from your pattern, go for it and just stick two pages together, and nobody will ever know that you did that. But now you guys know. But it's so easy and simple, and I don't know, it adds a little dimension to your spread. But I loved this night, by the way. We had a blast. I was very emotional. My son, finishing up marching band and being a senior, it was just a great night. Documenting the fall again, and I just used some of those gold puffy stickers. Those came in my Studio Calico kit, so I added those just to add a little something to my title. I also used these little acetate circles. I don't know if you can see them, but I added them to my pumpkins here just to add a little something, and then stamped It's a Wonderful Life and called it done. Documenting my love for coffee, and this was a simple one. I used Spellbinder's Glimmer Hot Foil kit for this one, and you can create an envelope with that kit, which is pretty cool. I don't think I've ever made an envelope before. So I just added a little heart. This was also from the Glimmer Hot Foil kit, and you can see I foiled it up and it's beautiful. And once you open the envelope, it says Big Mood right in the center. How I did that was I trimmed down a 3x4 card from Calico's kits and just backed up my envelope with it. So it kind of looks, I don't know, it looks fun and it's different. And there was nothing for me to journal about, honestly. So I just decided to do that. And I also used the plates to add the love in some foil, and it looks really pretty. And just stamped "But First Coffee" and called it done. Now this is a spread that I did for my 15-minute challenge, and I believe I do have a process video for that, and I'm documenting my love for tacos. I used the taco stamp set from Studio Calico, stamped them in all different types of ink, added my journaling to some vellum, and called it done. I added some puffy stickers as well. My 15-minute challenge is so much fun. I definitely recommend it to any crafter who is in a slump or doesn't have enough time to craft. Put a timer for 15 minutes and create a spread. It is so freeing. Believe me, you will get something done no matter what it is, even a Project Life spread, which I want to start doing my 15-minute challenges in Project Life spreads because I know a lot of people struggle with their Project Life spreads. And maybe I can do that next month where I share my 15-minute challenge, but working in my Project Life. I think that would be a lot of fun. Another simple one, documenting fall again. I always tend to do that. November and October is always about documenting fall, obviously, because it's fall. But most of my photos are always like fall related. And I was just documenting my daughter and I and the leaves falling. So I just added always using my Kelly Perky white alphas. And then I stamped the Stay Warm and All Bundled Up. That is from Feed Your Craft. It's cold outside. And then I just used some old chipboard. I've had these chipboards forever, and they're always in my have-to bowl. Let me share my have-to bowl with you guys. So this is my little have-to bowl, and it sits on my desk, and I try to go through it before I go through my go-to embellishments or my newer embellishments. These are just embellishments that, you know, when you have a sheet full of chipboard and you only have 2 in there, I throw them in here instead of having them in like my drawer taking up space. So I try to go through these and use them before I use my newer products. And that's where I found these little crunching leaves and the pumpkin. So definitely, you know, have something like this on hand, or if you want to finish up certain products, definitely do something like this. Just have it next to you, and that way when you're looking for something, it's harder to find them, by the way, because they're all like thrown in here. But I try to go through it every once in a while, and just kind of clear out whatever I think is just not going to happen and I'm not going to use it before I give it away or throw it away or whatever the case is, even though I don't throw anything away. But anyways, that's my have-to bowl, and I go through that before I go through my embellishments. And, you know, it was great that I did that because I found my little chipboards there. And I also added some Nuvo drops just to add a little dimension around my little wreath. So the next 2 pages I cannot share because they are part of my Scrap Your Scraps class, but I can share this one. And I do have a process video for this one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I just used my Spellbinders Glimmer Hot Foil plates to foil up all these beautiful borders, as you can see. Added some word stickers underneath every photo and right above my little borders. I also created this little tag using my scrapbook.com nesting tag set. Love that set so much, and I shared it, or I talked about it a little bit beforehand in another layout where I created tag. It's just perfect to create tags really quickly. They're just like a bunch of different sized tags, and that you can just throw it through your die cut machine and create whatever size you are looking for. Now, my daughter and I love playing Trivial Pursuit, and we do it every once in a while. So I wanted to kind of document that moment, added my journaling on some vellum. I used the Game Night stamp set from Studio Calico. Love that stamp set. And I just stamped out all these little icons, like you have a board game, you have dice, You have dominoes and puzzles, so you can kind of document whatever you were playing that day. And I just stamped them randomly, kind of like confetti. I love doing that with smaller stamps, using them as confetti for my spread, and just stamped a few more around my photo and called it done. It's one of my favorites in this traveler's notebook. Documenting the then and now. My kids, when they were younger, aren't they so cute? And now as they are older, and I just love looking back on older photos, and this stamp set is perfect to document flashbacks and then and now, and hashtag, you know, throwback Thursdays and things like that. So I just used the kit from Studio Calico to create the spread, and I used the stars to add just a little bit of something to my title. And I love this spread so, so much. I believe I have a process video for this one. Again, there's the stamp set, the Greenwich Market stamp set from Studio Calico. Love it so much. I just used the stamp set to add what I feel or what represents my beautiful, wonderful daughter. She's an artist, she's smart, she's beautiful, and she's totally a musician. And I use the little labels from my kit, from my Studio Calico kit, to add just a tiny bit of journaling about every little prompt. And I simply love how this one turned out. I think I want to do another one, or probably like do it monthly maybe, for a certain person in my life. So maybe next time my son, my husband, my family, my parents, my siblings, whoever the case is, or friends, and just add it randomly in each of my traveler's notebooks. I just love how it turned out, and I think it was a lot of fun. So I might be doing that very soon. So my son, cousin, and I, we all went out on a Saturday. We did some shopping. We went for a walk. We went for dinner. And then in the evening, we went and watched my daughter in concert. It was a lot of fun. It was a great day. So I just used, I think these are just random embellishments from my stash that I used to add some layers to my photos. I also stamped out, these are from a Kelly Perky kit. I can't remember which kit, and also I think those are from Everyday Explorer, and those are from Kelly Perky. And I added a little bit of journaling about that day or our dinner and called it done. And I think that's the end of my November Traveler's Notebook. I love how October and November turned out. They're nice, hefty, very pretty, and I really enjoyed every single spread in here. And again, I recommend this all the time. Keep it simple. You do not have to go all out to document your memories. Just a picture, a little bit of journaling, and if you wanted to stamp something, go for it. It doesn't have to be, you know, elaborate and mixed media and, I don't know, adding paint and things. That's great if you do that. But if you don't, that's great as well. You don't have to go all out. Put your timer for 15 minutes, create a spread daily for 15 minutes, and you're good to go. I do not sit all day to create these layouts. Believe me, I just work in little, you know, bits every day when I can, and I'm able to create multiple photos within 30 minutes because, again, they're not elaborate. That probably took me 2 minutes. It's not a big deal. Stuck down my photo, stuck down my acrylic piece and wood veneer, and I have a spread. So, you know, be fast. Don't think too hard. Free yourself from all the worries and what other people think and what you have to do, and just create, be creative and have fun, and always make sure that you enjoy it. Don't overthink it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.